Orally Transmitted Teachings, Ongi Kuden, in Japanese on Buddhism Lesson 14 Women's Attainment of Buddhahood. As far as the relationship of women to Buddhism is concerned, it must be said that there were two moments, before the Lotus Sutra, after the Lotus Sutra. In the Anti-Lotusic Teachings in the Anti-Lotusic Dharma, women could not become Buddhas. This for 5 reasons. Women are seen as envoys from hell destroying the seeds of Buddhahood. In the Flower Garland Sutra, the first teachings given by the Buddha just after his enlightenment, it is said, women are messengers from hell who can destroy the seeds of Buddhahood. They may represent bodhisattvas, but in their hearts, they are like yakshas, dragons. Women perceived as handicapped by the 5 barriers. First, they cannot become a Brahma. Second, they cannot be a Shakra. Third, they cannot become a demon king. Fourth, they cannot be a king who turns the wheel. Fifth, they cannot become a Buddha. Women perceived as stuck in the 3 obediences. The 3 obediences are a Confucian code of conduct that required women to obey, first, to their parents in childhood. Secondly, to their husbands after marriage. Third, to their children, male offspring, in old age. It should be noted that the 3 obediences are not written in any sutra. It is simply a traditional code of conduct that has been incorporated into Buddhism. Women perceived as having a soiled body. This conception of the woman soiled by menstruation or menstrual blood, an essential characteristic of femininity, does not come from Buddhism. It existed long before the advent of the Buddha in this world. It exists among all the peoples of the earth. Unfortunately, it still has a bright future. Shariputra mentions it in the Lotus Sutra to contest the attainment of Buddhahood by Princess Ozoua. Your body is defiled, he said. Women considered as icchantikas. Icchantika are people who can never attain Buddhahood. The Nirvana Sutra, the last teaching of the Buddha, compares them to dead trees or rocky mountains. They are burnt seeds that even watered by a gentle rain can never grow. Shiny pearls immersed in murky water have the power to clarify this. But if they are thrown into the mud of the icchantikas, they cannot purify them. Long before the Nirvana Sutra, the Sutra of the Silver Woman or Akayeshi Sutra, the Sutra of the Tie Woman in Tie, an Ivorian national language or Kosal Sutra was distinguished by this exclusion of women from the field of Buddhahood. It is written in this sutra that even if the eyes of all the Buddhas of the past, present, and future were to fall to the ground, a woman still could not become a Buddha. Lotusic Revolution, the opening of the doors of Buddhahood to women. The Lotusic Dharma in connection with the attainment of Buddhahood by women may have been founded by Chapter 2, Hoben, Opportune Means, and the fact remains that the concrete proof of this new Buddhist order is the attainment of the Buddhahood of Ozoua, known in the Lotus Sutra as the daughter of the Dragon King. The story of Ozoua is that of the daughter of the Dragon King who freed herself from the sufferings of birth and death during the assembly of the sacred peak of the eagle. Why should we now say Princess Ozoua and no longer the daughter of the Dragon King? The meaning of Ozoua. Ozoua is a female given name from the Bede country, an ethnic community based mainly in the central western part of Côte d'Ivoire. Ozoua means the fighting woman, the woman who broke the glass ceiling, the woman who cast off the mask of resignation. Why the humanization of the Dragon King's daughter? The daughter of the Dragon King must henceforth be called Princess Ozoua of Sagra for 3 essential reasons. First, she symbolizes the attainment of Buddhahood by women. Second, she comes from a family where the Lotus Sutra is highly respected and protected. Finally, she overcame many obstacles to attain Buddhahood, thus becoming an example of courage and self-sacrifice for women. The Lotusic Journey of Princess Ozoua of Sagra to Buddhahood in Chapter 12, Princess Ozoua and Devadatta. Princess Ozoua became a Buddha after hearing Manja Shiri. Manja taught the Lotus Sutra in the palace of her father, the sage King Sagra, located under the ocean. After attaining enlightenment, she defeated Archimede Terrible Thrust to join the Vulture Peak Assembly. To erase the doubts that have taken hold of the Peak and Vulture Assembly, the Buddha had to certify her attainment of Buddhahood. It was only after that Ozoua began to teach the Lotus Sutra. Princess Ozoua promised that in the troubled times of Mappo, she would protect the bodhisattvas and especially the female bodhisattvas. Other teachings on Princess Ozoua's attainment of Buddhahood. 3 other teachings are to be linked to the attainment of Buddhahood by women through that of Ozoua. Even after having become a Buddha, a woman retains her femininity. In Chapter 12, it appears that Ozoua became a Buddha while retaining her reptilic attributes, that is to say that she remained a dragon. This metaphor means that a woman keeps her femininity, even if she becomes a Buddha. In other words, she can make herself coquettish, if that is her wish. If she is still in the prime of life, she retains all her menstrual attributes. In short, a female Buddha is not another woman. She is not a woman different from other women, only she becomes augmented. An enhanced woman, transfigured by the wisdom of the Buddha. The attainment of Buddhahood is irrelevant to the age and duration of Buddhist practice. The aforementioned Chapter 12 reveals that Ozoua was only 8 years old when she attained Buddhahood, after she had heard the teachings of Mengshu. This Lotusic metaphor means that attaining Buddhahood is possible in this life and not necessarily after many years or even many kalpas of Buddhist practice. This revolutionary new approach to Buddhahood attainment will be enshrined in the last verse of Chapter 16, Juryo, duration of the life of the Tathagata of the Lotus Sutra. I am constantly asking myself how to bring others onto the path of Buddhahood without delay. The sahadik nature of the attainment of Buddhahood. The attainment of Ozoua's Buddhahood in this Sahaland is the confirmation of the sahadik nature of attaining Buddhahood. As it is said in Chapter 2, Hoben, opportune means, the Buddhas live in this earth. Buddhas appear and teach in this earth. After ingesting this educational capsule, it will be possible for you to deepen your knowledge on this theme by referring to my sutras or writings of a Buddha, in Sanskrit, where it is developed at length. These sutras are available, in French, the original version, in American English and in German in paperback and Kindle books on all Amazon sales sites. Regarding the Amazon KDP links to my sutras, please refer to my TikTok or Facebook profiles or even to Lesson 11 of my teachings. All my videos are compiled on my 3 YouTube channels, Kosen Rufu TV, English Kosen Rufu TV and Kosen Rufu Well. For the links to these channels, see my bio or type the title of the channel of your choice in the Google search bar.